Hey, how's it going, guys? All right. I'm uh I'm actually kind of excited to stream today. I really enjoy streaming. Um Much more since I've moved over to YouTube. It's much more fun, much more enjoyable, and I appreciate you guys a bunch. I appreciate you guys always being here. Man with the amazing name. Hey man, how's it going, friend? All right. Yeah, so I'm definitely I look, I'm looking forward to streaming today. A lot obviously has gone on since we last streamed. I mean, last time we streamed it was during the oh, hi Charlotte. Hello, Target Squad watching right now. Um a lot obviously happened last time we streamed. It was during the attempted I don't even know, obviously there's a lot of debate whether that was a coup because I mean I think I think you can accurately call it that, except there's this like revolutionary revolutionary tonality to it, and I don't even think that's exactly right, right? The police let them in. And in that sense, that is sort of a coup, right? You know? Like what coup has ever really truly been successful without in a contemporary sense, been successful without some sort of like police or military help. Obviously, actual revolutions of the past, whether that even be as Angles would call it, since we're doing a video on socialism, utopian and scientific, I would call them bourgeoisie or ruling class revolutions, such as the French and American Revolution. And I also figured, yeah, we could talk a little bit more about this. I've been scripting this, and I'm almost done scripting it, so that's good news. Scripting is almost done for this video, which means I will be able to get into the recordings, and then from there, I can get into some video editing, and we can get the video out to you guys. In South America, it's an insurrection. Yeah, maybe, perhaps that might be the best language. My fake account, just random letters. Sorry. Hey, that's cool. That's cool, man. Communist Heidegger, how's it going, friend? Okay. Obviously we just started out. I think we'll probably grow in viewers a little bit, but definitely want to give. I think at the beginning of every stream, I might go ahead and give an extra shout out, give an extra thanks to people who've donated. I have on the board here David. David is the most giving man of all time. Listen, this dude, if this is a leaderboard, we have tips as a leaderboard. This man is on top. This man has given so much to this channel. Like, for real, David, thank you so much. I don't know if you're in here or whatever, but Connor Johnson, Agalos Vasily, Juan Cervantes, Stephen Ruby, and Datgrass. These are everyone who's given tips or donated. So I want to thank you guys for sure before we get into things. Oh, but I think you see some. I recognize some of you, Brett. I recognize some of you guys from Pills's stream yesterday as well. I think Pills should stream a little bit more. If he can do it. I know. I think he says it wears him out, and streaming can wear you out for sure if you're new to shit and you're setting stuff up. Whenever I first started streaming again, or whenever I first started streaming on YouTube as opposed to Twitch, holy fuck, did that just completely wear me out? It's a lot to relearn and stuff, and YouTube has a little bit of a less what's the best way to put it this. YouTube is a far better platform to stream on in almost every way, but Twitch being doing the streaming itself is actually a little bit easier on Twitch. The interface is a little bit easier to use, stuff like that. They still YouTube still needs to work on that, but guys, I have no doubt. I'm almost positive in about 4 to 5 years, either either within 4 to 5 years, YouTube will take over Twitch for sure. I think so. I like Pill's rant stream a lot. I actually did he start ranting about stuff? I never saw him. I know obviously he was talking about a little bit of the coup attempt, or what happened in Capitol Hill, whatever you want to call it. It was kind of fun to watch his stream where the streamer stubbornly tries to focus on what he says and not only uh, uh it was kind of fun to watch a stream where the streamer stubbornly tries to focus on what he says and not only in reacting to chat. Huh, cool. Did we talk about Assange? I don't think we've talked about Assange. Obviously, you know, um, a judge, what is it? A judge kind of in the UK kind of shut down extradition to the US, which is good. Like I hope it would be clear enough that I absolutely support Julian Assange and that what's going on with Julian Assange is fucking terrible. People like Edward Snowden, Julian Assange, obviously if there is such a thing as heroes, they are definitely it for sure. Chelsea Manning as well. I mean, it's just insane uh, what happens in that realm of things. He started talking about politics as wrestling. Yeah, Pills is definitely very big on the politics of spectacle, and obviously, especially in this current state today, politics absolutely is spectacle in a media sense and stuff. I think maybe maybe not necessarily to Pills, but I think some people who have that approach may actually, I think they may overstate politics as spectacle. I think in some weird way, politics is the most real thing that we have. It's the actual most real discourse in some ways, like genuinely, like really. If discourse is something that truly affects things, it is an exchange of ideas, and it is something that turns ideas into a material reality. Then politics is one of the more real things that we have, and it's not just spectacle. But of course, politics is spectacle. Spectacle is absolutely, in this weird 21st century world that we live in, and the media apparatus that surrounds us absolutely is. No probation, though. Yeah, absolutely heroes. Yeah, Snowden took a job working for the government, took an oath and broke it. Fuck. I mean, so should we just swear complete loyalty to a governing apparatus and same with like the NSA? Should we take a job from the NSA, not necessarily realizing the illegal acts that they are doing? And we should just, follow along that little code, Who gives a fuck? Fuck that. This means this is a win for Assange, but a loss for journalism. The judge basically legal charges brought again. Oh, that's not good. Phil Porter, hey, how's it going, friend? How's it going, man? Yeah, and the way politics functions as of now are faking public access to deciding on how the country functions. Man, just join the CIA then. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Justin Murphy. Justin Murphy. But yeah, and deciding how politics function, I mean, there's a new thing. I mean, we can talk a little bit more. Justin Murphy, I'm just going to look this up. I don't know who that is. Oh. Books, Base Deleuze, The Reactionary Leftism of Giles Deleuze. Interesting. I don't know about this. Okay. Oh. No, I actually don't know about this dude. He's got like 20K followers on Twitter. All right. I'll give him a follow. It's the first thing that popped up. Speaking about what we were... sorry. It burns when I pee. Yeah, oath keeping is bad in a lot of ways. I'm not sure exactly. You can only put so much context in a comment. So I didn't know exactly what you meant by that. But speaking about the deciding of how politics functions and the discourse surrounding it, I was going to talk about like what's going on with Twitter and Trump a little bit. And now even Parler. And it's funny, I looked up who Justin Murphy was, and the first thing that it took me to was Twitter. So we're looking at like tech monoliths, and that's definitely a huge discussion. And what better way to get into that than actually being, putting into the Google algorithm thing, Justin Murphy, and it taking me straight to Twitter. Interesting how that works, He's not in American Dungeon is because he's sick. Man, I mean, truly some of the most immoral. I mean, it is torture what's happening to Julian Assange. Absolute torture. In every way, in every fucking way, and it's fucking disgusting. Guys, I really even think again, there can be this leftist tonality of sort of Freudian like death drive and murderous tonality to things, and chopping the heads off of billionaires and fascists. I think I really think in any just world, if you haven't, if you're building a new society, don't kill people. You don't kill people. And then you sure as fuck don't torture them like they're doing with Julian Assange. That's absolutely intentional. But I don't think we need to be chopping off the heads of billionaires. I think billionaires in many ways should be in prison. But I'm not a very big proponent of the death penalty in almost any context at all. I really am not. Um, I get the memes. I get the nice guillotine memes, the face the wall memes, but sometimes I think we can probably kind of overstate that. I think we need to be serious about our political positions, and we need to be consistent. And I think the death penalty is just completely inconsistent. And I'm partially to blame here. I've made some nice Mao landlord memes with some guillotine stuff on Twitter before, but yeah, you're not a prison abolitionist. So I'm a prison abolitionist in some contexts. I think that having a prison system's fine, kind of. There may be some issues, but are not killing cringe. Yeah, that's some lib shit, man. No, I mean, I think having a prison system that just needs to be radically overhauled is the best approach, right? Our prison system is not designed around rehabilitation or even like education in a way. I think, uh, I don't think there is a massive moral wrongdoing in the way prisons are structured, say in some place like Scandinavia. There may be a legal system that might be pretty immoral, and people might have to go to prisons in an immoral sense. But the actual prison structure itself, in a place like Scandinavia, where it does focus much more on rehabilitation, is really not that bad. We can obviously discuss whether even that should exist, but a prison system seems pretty fucking necessary in almost every way. Maybe that's a little bit too much, but in the United States, our prison system's absolutely fucking disastrous. It's not only disastrous, ineffective, it's actually just immoral as absolute fuck. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. It's a slave-like system, especially with, inmates fighting fires for like $2 a day. It's truly America. America is a neo-monetary fascistic state using its bases as insurance. I mean, like, that's absolutely really it. I mean, I truly think, and I think this is the beauty of a lot of critical theory. Even the traditional Marxist approach doesn't actually appreciate this much. We always talk about the limits of Marxism, and I talk about the limits of Marxism all the time because I care about Marxism. I care about material politics. But something that critical theory is really good at is actually truly understanding how totalitarian the United States is, right? The United States is totalitarian in a sense in which it just discontorts and confuses any actual narrative against it, right? So I think what's a good way of doing that is, I think Adorno's culture industry shows American totalitarianism in the best way possible. Look nicer than 2K. Yeah, no, Scandinavian prisons look nicer than 2K a month apartments in San Fran. That is absolutely true. And they should. I think inmates should have access to the internet. They should have access to television. I think they should have access to entertainment. I don't care what heinous things you have done. I really don't. I really think that even people that do some horrible, terrible shit, I still think they deserve, truly, we got to understand the precedent that you set when you go against this. I get that the traditional justice approach is that these people should rot and then they should suffer. Maybe we can make an argument for that in some sense, but an eternal thing of suffering for the rest of their life, no. Absolutely, no. I can't. Like, if we're making purely moral arguments, and then even effective arguments too, right? Like, I don't think there is a case to be made that some people just aren't going to be rehabbed. Like, there's some people who truly can't be rehabbed, maybe, and that's fine. But we should still at least have a process of rehabilitation, or at least concealing, or at least containing them in a prison system that's pretty just and moral, and they can partake in life and stuff like that. I think taking that away from people is one of the most horrid, disgusting things that you can do, and it's really thinking outside of the context of the prison system that we have now is actually kind of hard, and I think that's really disturbing that this isn't something that humanity as a whole has made a sort of mainstream viewpoint, that that punishment as a prison system is kind of wrong in a lot of ways. I don't think prison should really be punishment in almost any regard. But hey, maybe I'm just a dirty fucking lib. Maybe we need gulags. Maybe we need to force people to work. No, I'm just kidding. Fuck that shit. Absolutely fuck all that. I don't care. Maybe I'm just some, I'm not, I'm not right wing enough on that regard. What do you think of the Bill of Rights? Bill of Rights are good. Good. I'm not. Listen. I think when you start to get to the point where you're like against individual freedom, even in the abstract sense, you start to get a little reactionary to me. I really think so. I think one of the most harmful things you can do from the left is start to critique or start to move away politically from the idea of individual rights. Absolutely the fuck not. I think the good thing, I think that the best thing about material politics is precisely that material politics actually facilitates individual rights in a very concrete sense, right? So I hate this new, well, it's not new, right? It's just a new thing where you find with some really totalitarian tonalities with some people, and they start. I hate it. I hate it. Absolutely hate it. American freedom, if you have the money, and American companies seem to want slaves in the UK. I'm not exactly sure about that. Well, I don't know about that. Anyways, that's great. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. Yeah. What about the right to exploit? Fuck no. But then again, you can make a very liberal argument for this. You're just exploiting. You're just infringing on someone else's individual rights, right? Like I think we overstate how different Marxism is from actual like liberal, prescriptive philosophy. We really do, especially early, like a lot of Marxist critiques and analysis. Obviously, there is so many shortcomings of liberalism as a philosophy. There's shortcomings as all of this stuff, but I think we can often. I think we would be really dumb to completely untether ourselves, and there's a reactionary sort of push to do that based on identity, right? Like, oh, that's dumb lib shit. Oh, I'm not a lib. Fuck that. Whatever constitutes lib, I'm not that. And I think that's just a really dumb fucking idea. Really dumb fucking idea. And in the same sense, I think we can say that if we untether ourselves from even and reject everything within even Marxist canon or a lot of even what's quintessentially considered authoritarian canon, I think that's probably not wise either. Did you happen to read The War for Eternity? I have not. It's a great book that traces traditionalist philosophy among the right wing. I have not. Socialism should be the realization of liberalism promises. Truly, the more I read, no, seriously, guys, like genuinely, the more I read Marx and Engels, the more I truly think that it's like Marxism in a lot of ways it's not a total explosion of liberalism. It's like a dialectical synthesis of liberalism. It's like hyper liberalism in some ways. Like it's in some ways, right? It rejects it rejects the very purely individual nature of liberalism. But as far as the political prescriptive nature of liberalism and its sort of approach to like freedom, it just concretely grounds it in a very dialectical sense. And in that sense, yeah, like there is an argument to be made that the realization of liberalism is sort of done through it can be seen through Marxist critiques of capitalism. Absolutely. 150%. It's not to say that Marxism is liberalism at all. But it's also not to say that Marxism is like necessarily like antithetical. It is its own entity. But yeah, many of liberalism's promises are twisted around to make you agree everyone should suffer without inference. Dude, well, but here now, not necessarily. That if anything, that is the point that like where liberalism fails, right? And in that context, you can argue, like truly, I think being able to learn how to argue with this approach from an individual liberal perspective is really fucking useful, really useful. That is true. Liberalism's promises are twisted around to make you agree everyone should suffer without inference. But then again, too, that's a complete infringement on an actual individual right or an individual idea of freedom, right? It's the idea of individual rights and ideas of freedom that is completely insufficient. Rather, we should have a material approach to freedom or emancipation, right? And that's exactly kind of where I think Marxism is. It's almost like a grounding material synthesis of liberalism. Um, I know you already have too much to read, but here's a whole wiki article on the particular Supreme Court cases that are known as the worst of the worst. Interesting. Did you feel free to link it in chat? I can try to bring that up actually. Because the individual, exactly. I think, and then Hegel talks about this a lot, right? Like I have the elements of philosophy of right. I mean, even Hegel, in a classical sense, through a kind of a liberal approach, a little bit. Hegel absolutely says that, right? The dialectic of recognition is that we recognize ourselves through other people, and then as an individual through a community, right? It's the shortcomings of liberalism that must be fixed. It's not necessarily the shortcomings of liberalism, thus it needs to be destroyed, right? And I'm not saying that maybe liberalism doesn't need to be fucking destroyed, especially in a postmodern tonality. But even in industrial capitalism, it isn't to say that necessarily liberalism as a project is an utter failure and should be completely disregarded whatsoever. I think that is actually really fucking stupid. I really do. And I think it's the very metaphysical approach that Marx and Engels, mainly Engels, talks about, and how metaphysics as an English Lockean philosophy is the way of looking at things as singularities and undialectically, right? And in that sense, it's really kind of stupid, right? And I can't think of some people who are very much undialectical thinkers than a lot of Marxists. Like, really, truly. There isn't a dialectical approach to a lot of politics. It's actually a very metaphysical approach. And I don't mean metaphysics as neither does Engels. I'm using a lot of Engels terminology. Metaphysics, obviously, and philosophy is something different. But what he means by metaphysics is just like a mode of logic, right? The mode of logic that John Locke sort of really ushered into philosophy and modernity, where we look at stagnated things rather than dialectical processes. The whole Marxist critique of liberalism is less to do with freedom and more to do with putting your own self. Should have a smoke out and say dude, more dude. Do I say dude a lot? I mean, I probably do. I don't give a fuck. It's difficult to promulgate rights and freedoms in a world where neocon Nazis can just walk into the Senate. Well, more than anything, it just shows that there isn't like the idea of right or rights is just not. Yeah, I mean, I think the idea that we just should shut the fuck up about individual rights when neocons and Nazis are walking through. What? I'm not gonna. What? Yeah. Rather, it just shows that individual rights isn't really a concrete thing under an idealism, especially an idealism that we see in the U.S. Have you read Zizek's? I have not. Another nice stream. I am right on time. Hey, how's it going, my friend? I've not read Zizek's pandemic book. I've heard some talks about it. I think I listened to a little bit of Ben Burgess's podcast with. By the way, I want to get Ben Burgess on here. I could probably message him on Twitter, maybe. I don't know, but I want to get Ben Burgess on here. I would love to talk to Ben Burgess. He's a very analytical philosophy dude, and I like analytical philosophy. I read his book as well. His book was very good, guys. You guys should read it. His book is actually more art. It's more. He wrote it in 2018. It's more relevant today in a scary way. But I would love to hear a little bit of what he thinks about some continental philosophy and theory. But on Ben Burgess, yeah, I listened to his podcast with Zizek and the pandemic. It was good. Yeah. Alan Watts is good. Okay. I like people like Terence McKenna and Alan Watts to a degree. I think that is peak continental philosophy. If we're talking what continental philosophy is, I think it's just it's a very I truly think that continental philosophy of what we think continental philosophy is isn't necessarily devoid of analytics, but when you start getting to a little bit of Alan Watts and Terrence McKenna, it's not bad at all, right? It's just to me it feels more loose and more um, less structured than I would like, perhaps. But yeah, I think Alan Watts is a great introduction, especially into like Eastern philosophy. And even aside from philosophy, I think people like that are actually better at like this sort of I hate video on I hate self-help, but like I want to say a little bit of like self-help. Video on Deleuze, video on Deleuze. Holy fuck. I get asked this all the time, guys. I promise we will get to some Deleuze. I promise you. I'm trying to cover bases. I'm doing a lot of Marxism right now. I'm doing a lot of Marxism on this channel, right? We're doing Engels right now. It seems like Patreon, you guys chose the next is going to be the German ideology from Marx and Engels, and I'll do that. But actually, we will touch before that the System of Objects by Baudrillard. So we're going to do early Baudrillard, and then obviously we'll get to simulacra and simulation. But you know, yes, I take LSD. I took acid once. I don't think I'd do it again, but it was fucking. I didn't have a bad experience. It was actually really cool. I was really good. But I've never done acid since. It was cool. Did Alan Watts ever say anything besides Buddhism? Yeah, I think sure. Yeah, I wouldn't consider. I've actually listened to a fair amount of Alan Watts. I wouldn't say it's necessarily pure Buddhism. Well, Deleuze is very good. I like Deleuze a lot. Believe me, I want to do Deleuze, but I have to do this. So I like to have some structure, guys, and like cover some bases before. Like, guys, there's a reason why I did a video on the linking of Rousseau and Marx before I ever touched any Marxism on this channel. There's a reason why I did that, is because I want to, you know, I obviously have gone forward. I've done videos on Marcuse and stuff like that, but I consider that maybe in its own category, right? It's a dialectical Marxist approach to maybe psychoanalysis. And so I could justify doing critical theory, I think. But before even touching Marxism, as Marxism goes, I wanted to kind of show a little bit late Enlightenment revolutionary links to Marx. So I definitely, guys, like I can't just jump into people like Derrida and Deleuze. Like I don't want to. I really don't want to. I've gotten, no, and I'm not saying whoever is like, do a video on Deleuze. No, that's a totally like cool request. I've just had some very, dude, guys, I've had people message me like, I will unsubscribe if you don't do a video on Deleuze. Your videos are boring. I'm like, then fucking unsubscribe, motherfucker. Like, leave. I'm like, I don't know why why are you so antagonistic, though, that I haven't done a video on Deleuze yet? What? Will you cover Marxist economics? Yes. That'll be a little bit, though. And Marxist economics is a lot different than a lot of, like, Marxist theory and philosophy, aside from economics. Rousseau did a complete 180 between both his major political works. Yeah. And I mainly covered sort of the social contract rather than the discourses. Oh, bro, that's a very good reason. Make the connection so it makes sense. Yeah, and I don't have to. And I don't have to constantly explain concepts in every new video that I do. At that point, they could just make their own Deleuze videos. Yeah, I know. People were like, there was this one person who did message me on Twitter, actually, and they were like, dude, like this dude started out with, I'm sick of this shit. I'm like, are you okay, man? Like, are you all right? He was like, I'm sick of this shit. Your videos are the same new critical theory boring shit, and you haven't even touched, like, something along those lines. You haven't touched Deleuze. I'm gonna subscribe if the next one isn't Deleuze. I'm like, what? I'm like, are you okay? Do you talk to everyone like this? I'm like, Jesus. What video editing software do you use? I use the Adobe suite, so I use Premiere and After Effects and Photoshop. Like, Jesus. Like Descartes. I would like to do some Descartes as well. But like, for example, guys, I think my first video with Deleuze will be via Spinoza. I think we'll do Deleuze on Spinoza. Yeah, LMAO toxic Deleuze stands. I guess, man. I've been asked that a lot, and I had another message that was a little aggressive, like Like really, like it was more of a whiny, like, can you please do Deluxe and like and then that other one was very aggressive. I just thought it was funny. I like Deluxe too, guys. I'm just trying to do this smart, you know. You know who did everything in like linear order, if I can remember right? Philosophize This on Spotify. Like his podcast, I literally think he started with the Greeks and he has gone forward ever since. That man did not fucking deviate along the way at all. I think he literally did everything in order, which is really cool. But I actually Philosophize This is a very good introduction, but that's all it is. I don't like, I really, guys, I'm not gonna lie, I don't like introductory philosophy content. I really don't. I think introductory philosophy content kind of sucks. I know that sounds bad. I do like Philosophize This. I have listened to a lot of Philosophize This, but I just the more I get into philosophy, the more detailed it is, the more fruitful. But Philosophize This as an introduction is very good. Very good. Like he's top tier. His introductions are very good. I just don't personally like introductions very well. Have you read Rorty? So I haven't read Rorty, but I've done some stuff regarding school with Rorty a little bit. Can you do a video on Kafka? Yeah, I would like to do Kafka at some point. Maybe I think I could do. I think I could do Kafka in a critical theory sense. I think I could do Kafka and Mark Fisher. Mark Fisher talks about Kafka a lot. I could make a video about Kafka maybe and market Stalinism, perhaps. I think that would be a good idea. Good. I never thought about doing that. Thank you for doing that. You see, we come up with new video ideas in chat. Do you support the Chinese Communist Party? Fuck to the no. Do I hate them? Do I think they're the worst fucking entity on earth? No. Do I think China is worse than the U.S.? Actually, not. No, I don't think China is as harm. The United States is arguably the most imperial, gross states, at least in foreign policy wise. I think I think as far as like a domestic sense, though, I think our very limited uses of democracy is better than China's. I'm a fan of democracy. I don't like China, though. I find China to be one of the best examples of neoliberal capitalism. What better way for global capitalism to completely allow? No, like I love this. People who one of the biggest, I think the largest argument, quantity-wise, this is the largest argument that I hear from the left supporting China is that, okay, we have to support China. We have to defend them because they are the only defense of American imperialism. Are you fucking, is that your fucking argument? Is that actually your fucking dumb fuck argument? That's your argument? Dude, China allows international corporations from America to come in and exploit their fucking workers. What? You're going to say defending China is protecting from the world from US imperial hegemony? What the fuck? Fuck no, it's not. Absolutely not. What the fuck is that? Like, I know, seriously, that is the most dumb fuck argument I have ever fucking heard. Now, we can absolutely talk about China. We can talk about, like, all kinds of Western propaganda against Eastern countries, Oriental tonalities to these countries. Absolutely, and we can do that. But holy fuck. To argue that, like, that China is, like, some actual real existing socialist state, stupid. And it's actually something that even, I find this really funny because a lot of people who argue this are like very anti-revisionist Marxist, yet this new anti-revisionism that we're seeing with Marxism, Leninism, Maoism is they're as the anti-revisionist crowd goes, they're quick to admit that China is not fucking socialist. They're very quick to admit it. So I'm like, what's the discontinuity here? What's going on? Are you sure that if you're defending China, it's not some aesthetic fucking game that you're playing that like, oh, like I'm a Marxist. I am, I defend these states. I am therefore morally superior. Are you sure you're not playing that game? That bullshit fucking stupid aesthetics is politics? Because I'm almost convinced that's what it is. I hate it. I absolutely fucking hate it. I go on, we talk a lot about this on here, but it's because I really think that this idea is so fucking harmful to the left and future material politics that it's just, God, dude, I hate it. That America is democratic. Yeah. Well, we have some forms of democracy in the U.S. undeniably, but yeah, perhaps. Yeah, you could make that that comparison. Um, yeah. So yeah, that's my answer about China. Do I support China? Fuck no, absolutely not. Vietnam's Communist Party is better than China. 100%. 100%. How's it going, Krishna? How's it going, my friend? Will you ever do Gramsci? I 100% will do Gramsci. No doubt, no doubt. That'll happen. It just might happen a little bit later on, for sure. I would love to do Gramsci. Um, so, yeah. Hey, what's up, BW? Welcome to Tier 1. Thank you for being a member. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that a ton. I mean, bourgeoisie democracy inherently isn't democracy. Yeah, well, that's one of the major critiques of that. Nice Zeppelin poster. Thank you. I think you're the first one in chat on YouTube to notice that. Thank you. I love Led Zeppelin. I have to disagree with that on China. China is a threat to American imperialism. Dude, no, it's not private. Maybe in a concrete state. Not really. No, I don't. You know, I was gonna concede there. I was gonna be like, okay, maybe on something like actual foreign policy, state sanctioned foreign policy, but our foreign policy is driven by fucking private production, right? It's driven by corporations, and then the very imperial sense of the very reinforcement of Chinese economics is from private production in the U.S. We outsource, corporations outsource their manufacturing to China, and they exploit their workers that way. That's not really like, that's not a threat to American imperialism. That aids in American imperialism through a private tonality. That absolutely does. Imagine China had its own 4chan. Oh, I'm sure they do somewhere on the like somewhere. Besides, I defend China. They are good for limiting U.S. No. Dude, no. I don't. If there's something that China, so we can talk about things China does very much far better. They're far more efficient. They're far more efficient at tackling immediate issues. So for example, climate change. China has done a lot of good work on climate change, and complete applause for them for that. Genuinely, like I mean that. But when China, I am completely not in the camp of that we should just defend a state and then rationalize from there. Like we should defend them because they're theoretically favored as Marxism. Therefore, I'm a Marxism, right? I'm a Marxism. God damn it, I'm a Marxist. Therefore, I find ways to support my actual identity. What is that other than complete extreme rationalization of things? You're just rationalizing, right? To take the identity, to take the positional approach that, oh, it's supporting China as anti-imperialism, you're just going to rationalize from there. You're taking the opposite approach that you should, in my opinion. iPhone workers jump off buildings. Yes, like the most exploited people. Some of the most exploited people exist in places, like China. Obviously, we have like the global South, and then like a lot of Oceania and Indonesian country or Indonesia, stuff like that. Absolutely, that it's arguably worse, but it's undeniably workers are exploited worse in many ways in China than they are in the U.S. Absolutely. I've also heard that too, that the U.S. exploits workers worse than China. That's actually that's not necessarily true. Maybe, but on an individual basis. But I wouldn't say as a whole that's a very positive statement to make. Thought on the Uyghurs, yeah, and then of course, yes, and then the Uyghur situation. There's been so guys. And here's the other thing too. This is actual real existing conversations that I've seen. I've seen 2 of these devolve into this point where they're like, okay, the Uyghur situation's fake, and then someone responds like, okay, no, it's not. Here's some sources, independent sources that actually proves that it's absolutely not fake. There are concentration camps with the Uyghur people in it, and then what happens? In 2 of the couple conversations that I've seen, then what happens is the position of the people defending China is that, oh, well, they just handle terrorism better than us. You handle terrorism better than us in the sense that we put them in fucking concentration camps. They actually fundamentally will then admit that there is concentration camps, but it's actually okay. What the fuck? What the fuck, man? It's like a couple conversations on the Uyghur shit that I've seen unfold on the wonderful internet. Yeah, so, okay. I don't want to spend all my time shitting on China. China does some good. I really think climate change China does. China, holy fuck, as a capitalist country, like, because they're not socialist in a real existing socialist sense as something as a fucking gateway to fucking communism. Communism ain't gonna happen anytime soon in fucking in China. But mind you, but they do really good things as far as climate change goes and stuff like that, for sure, absolutely. Far better than the U.S., absolutely. And I think China will be very quick, and especially with like public health. What they did with the with COVID-19 was far better. I mean, China's just far more efficient than we are in almost every way, but in ways that are really fucking bad too. I think the 13th Amendment is a loophole post-slavery. Oh, yes, 100%. Yeah, Marxist at heart. Yes. This is something else that I've heard from some people. Marx in the unfolding of the analytic in which he sees capitalism unfolding into a communist post-capitalist society is a communal form of government, in a sense where it is a communal form in which that we kind of view a stateless, classless society. In that sense, Marx talks in a sort of anarchic, like, tonality. Holy fuck, do some people completely revise that? Do some people, and there's a lot of like there's a lot of really huge confusion on Marxism, and I'm almost convinced it's because people don't actually fucking read Marx. I kind of understand that. Like, fuck, that takes a lot of time to read. Like, like it really does. Like, so I understand. But I've had a conversation with some people, and I'm like, yeah, the actual end analysis of capitalism, when you look at it dialectically, it unfolds with Marx and Engels as a sort of like in a very surface way to explain it. It's just kind of anarchism as we see it, right? It's a communal form of a stateless society. And people are like, whoa, that ain't true. That ain't true. I'm like, yeah, the fuck it is. It's true. Like, I don't even... It's like, but of course, a lot of these people, every person I've ever said this, they're like very much like, they're like Marxist-Leninists, like hardcore Marxist-Leninists. So yeah, I have a lot of problems with Marxism-Leninism, actually. Not necessarily like like I've read like State and Revolution and shit. I understand a lot of the theory around Lenin. I do, and I understand it. The actual Marxist-Leninists are some of the most insufferable fucking people I have ever met in my life. Like, some of the most insufferable, miserable fucking people who have actually never read Marx are like Marxist-Leninists. And in the same sense, it's funny. Yeah. Dialectical liberalism in the past, that you said it similar to the last stream. Yeah, well, it kind of like, that's sort of, there is a lot there that you can make that argument in many ways. Yeah, Engels has some beef with Marxism, though. Low flame beef, but beef nonetheless, yeah. Of course, in the beginning, this cannot be effected except by means of despotic inroads on the rights of property. Yeah, Stalin fan. Yeah, dude, I think that's the worst. People who just like are huge. Yeah, Stalin fanboys are the fucking worst. Absolutely, absolutely, abso-fucking-lutely. There's also an argument to be made. This is by J. Mouthwad Paul. I actually did a video, guys, on this. I think I've said it a couple times. I did a Patreon YouTube member exclusive video. So if you want to see it, you're interested, go for it. And it'd help out the channel. So in Continuity and Rupture, this is like, he wrote this in 2016, and it's kind of heralded among, this is the ironic part, Marxist-Leninist. He takes a very Marxist-Leninist Maoist approach. He thinks that Maoism, as anti-revisionist Marxism, needs to be the case. But Marxists, like, people who are open, they identify as Marxist-Leninists. They're like, oh, I love J. Mouthwad Paul. I love, like, all of this shit. And it's like, he shits on Marxist-Leninists all the fucking time. There are anti-revisionist Marxists in today's world that absolutely understand the limits of Marxism-Leninism. And then here's the other thing. here's the other thing. They argue, and I think this is what a lot of like post-Marxists argue. Marxism that refuses to rupture and change is actually kind of inherently un-Marxist. To keep Marxism as a stagnated sort of entity is exactly the most un-Marxist thing you can do, and it is exactly what Marxist-Leninists do in so many ways. So it's funny that they're like anti-revisionist Marxist, yet they're actually revisionist, right? There's a paradox going on there. The very anti-revisionist Marxists are like, oh, you ain't Marxist. The people who are very, very open to gatekeep Marxist, they actually are the revisionists in some ways. It's kind of like where Zizek gets the idea that I like, that the best way to be a Marxist is to sort of leave Marxism behind in some senses. It's like leaving Marxism behind is the Marxist approach, right? But hey, that's some fucking lib shit, guys. Do you like history? Yeah, so I do like history. Well, we'll move on to history. We bitch about this so much on this channel, guys. We complain so much. But we are a theory channel. What, like, hey, listen, I'm going to defend myself a little bit. I'm going to defend it. I'm a theory channel. I love contending with Marxist theory. I do. I think Marxism is incredibly important. This is why I get heated about this stuff, is because people don't do the same, and they like to fucking gatekeep. They like to control the discourse of Marxism in the most aesthetic, bullshit, surface level sense. It's just terrible. But yeah, I do like history. So I'm actually, I'm a political science and history student. I'm a double major, and I'm actually about to finish my history degree and finish both of them as a whole. But I'm working primarily on my history degree. I'm actually, I'm studying, I think my sort of general focus is colonial American history, or a little bit like post-colonial, during the revolutionary time. I like that kind of era history. I like kind of like all history. All history is really cool. It's just, I'm writing a thesis on that, on political communication in taverns during the revolutionary era. Yeah, Marxist-Leninists take the same approach to reading Marx that scholastic theologians took Aquinas, not reading him and believing only secondary literature. Dude, yes. Oh my lord, 150%. Yeah, poop. Whoa, do you mean to maintain flux and literally anything is more beneficial to create a stagnant identity that hinders concept development? What a radical thought. What a radical fucking idea that maybe we should actually sort of move forward with ideas. We should adapt to the ever adapting, changing world around us. What a fucking monumental, crazy idea, huh? Wow, who would have ever thought that? Fucking idiotic bullshit, dude. Fucking stupidity. You guys always getting me fucking fired up in chat. Dude, absolute fucking peak stupidity. Peak stupidity, right? There's enough people that understand stupidity on the right, the absolute terrible fucking stupidity, but holy fuck, in some small, like, authoritarian surface level sectors of the left, good fucking lord, are they the most stupid fucking people I've ever fucking seen, dude. Oh my god. Heraclitus, checkmate, Painlight. Do you guys? Okay, I get way too fucking heated up on this thing. Are you into literature as well? No, so I'm actually not a huge. I don't read a lot of fiction. I don't read a lot of novels or literature, stuff like that. I enjoy film, and obviously film's, kind of a weird new form of literature, perhaps. But I love movies though. Are your professors nice? My professors are nice in some ways. Oddly, my history professors much more so. I like my history professors much more. History. So guys, like I said, I'm a political science major. My history professors are all far more radical. And I don't mean radical in like some, as I say, on a political spectrum where they're like radically different. No, they're just a lot smarter. Political scientists are some of the most stupid. We're talking about, listen, we're talking about stupid people in this stream, all right? Listen, I'm kind of an idiot too, so I'm not immune from this, right? We're all kind of fucking idiots. But aside from being fucking idiots, there are people who are worse fucking idiots in political science, and they're the most stupid fucking academics ever. Like, I saw, okay, listen, my political science degree is done. But they're the most, what the most common thing I hear on the internet from, like, I saw this on a TikTok video of a girl explaining, like, why Trump is bad, and he is, and she's primarily correct in her analysis on Trump. But she starts out the video, guys. She starts out the TikTok by saying, listen, guys, I study political science. I'm a political science major, and what this means essentially is that I look at politics from an unbiased lens. That's what political science is, guys. Political science is when you look at politics from an unbiased perspective. That's exactly what political science is. Yeah, one of the most stupid fucking arguments I've ever fucking heard. As if we can escape bias in that regard. Absolutely. Some of those biased individuals I've ever met are political scientists. Arguably the most stupid fucking people I've ever met are political scientists. Guys, I got into an argument with someone, and okay, sort of like a someone in the department that my political science department, they asked me, and this is, I don't even want to, I don't want to put anyone on it's someone that works in the political science department. I'm just going to leave it at that. You guys some of you probably already know where I go to school. I don't want anyone to fucking like ruin my life here. Okay. Anyways, they were like, what's the deal with, this was during primary time, the Democratic primary. They asked, what's the deal with Pete Buttigieg? And I'm like, well, and like, okay, fine. If you want to ask they were like, why do young people hate Pete Buttigieg? Okay. If you don't know, fair enough. Like, okay, fine. But they admitted that they did. They're a fucking political scientist. They're a political scientist, and they don't understand the qualms of Pete Buttigieg from the left. What the fuck, man? What the fuck is this shit? How do you have a fucking... I don't understand. Okay. And so I answer back all of these things about the way he governed in, what was it? Fucking South Bend, Indiana or whatever. He essentially, I think he tore down public parks for private real estate to go through, all this stuff, the police force dilemma with him, governed like fucking shit, like absolute neoliberal crap, terrible. And I pointed this out and they were like, oh, okay, really? That's why they have an issue with him? I'm like, yeah, gentrification in a sense, government sanctioned gentrification, and kicking out, like essentially clearing the way for public lands for like owned by the public, a park for private enterprise. Yeah, that's a fucking monumental fucking issue. What the fuck is wrong with you? But that's what I mean by political scientists. They are absolutely in flesh the most neoliberal people ever, and they're almost primarily just absolute toe the line DNC blowhards. It's all it is. It's political science in so many ways is ways in which they can rationalize the very neoliberal approach to centrist politics. That's it. It's a massive rationalization, and in that way, like. I don't know why they do this other than it might be an accepted practice, or there's some political scientists that think they're going to get like paid for doing this shit, or there's some benefit in some context, but it's just terrible. I hate fucking political science. I hate it. And I've talked to a lot of my history professors about it. My history professors are cool as fuck. They're like, yeah, dude, political science and economics is a terrible fucking field. Terrible fucking fields. Okay. Whew. All right, guys. I'm getting a little tired now. I get very fucking. Listen. I'm a passionate guy. All right. Listen. I care about this stuff. I'm wearing myself out. All right. I need to pace myself. I can't be a two-pump chump on stream. All right. Where I just yell and scream and whine like a little girl for 30 minutes and all right, guys, stream over. I'm fucking tired. Okay. I'll read it. Listen, I'll do some chat stuff. Brett, I like it. Professor Brunch. That's exactly it. Oh, do you like David Foster Wallace? I don't know much about Foster Wallace. A lot of people say like that I really should look into him. I know like some of his sort of ideas about postmodernity that I kind of like and stuff like that. His critique of this. I think he has critique of like postmodern, like media. And I like that. I think I've heard some of them and they're pretty good, but I haven't really read David Foster Wallace. Political science, how's it going, BW? Political science is an attempt to depoliticize politics. That's a lot of what it is. And in a reverse way, they do the exact opposite in the most mindlessly stupid fucking way possible. Political theorists are good. I think there's a lot of great, like the best person in my political science department was the most progressive orientated thinker that we had in our department was like an 80-year-old man. And they forced him to retire too. So he's an adjunct still, but he wouldn't want to retire as a full-time professor. It's hilarious. He's a good guy. But he's into political theory. I think he takes a more political theory approach to political science. But actual political scientists are fucking terrible all around. I've yet to see a fucking political scientist that doesn't monumentally fucking suck. I really haven't. I haven't. I can't find them. I tried. I tried. I can't. Political theory is the best approach you can do in my opinion, and it's the most accurate way to do it too. You need some electrolytes. I do need some electrolytes, man. I have some water, but that's not electrolytes. All right. Whew. God, guys, what I do to entertain all of you. I pump my cortisol levels up for you. All right. The hegemony of political realists and the inevitable influences of big data. Influences of big data. I like it. Yeah. And in a weird way, some of the most unscientific approaches is through like this hard science approach to political science. And it turns into, I noticed some of the scientific data that you see in political science sort of unfolds a little bit like astrology. Like it doesn't feel scientific when you look into it a little bit. Political science is basically just polling and data bros. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, in some ways. What are all these leftists mad about? We got the Cheeto off Twitter. He taught Wiggins. Okay. Any interest in analytic philosophers? So I've read like analytic philosophy, but not any major works. Again, I've taken a philosophy class, and it just involved purely analytical philosophy, and it was good. It was a very hard class, guys. Philosophy is difficult. Analytical philosophy is hard, exactly because we don't think analytically and we don't think logically. Typically our mode of thinking is very it's not good. And in that sense, like analytical philosophy is very useful. You know, I have a continental philosophy and theory channel. But I think it's important not to get rid of good, of logical thinking per se, you know? Wittgenstein, Rorty, Davidson are the best Anglophone philosophy has to offer. Philosophy means what's true, it can be seen as. Theory needs praxis to be fruitful. Yeah, I agree. But given the state of political institutions today, it's not surprising the readily available practical pathways are soul crushing. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Got any other philosophers in your scope for upcoming videos? So, a little bit, but here's our short-term schedule, guys. I'll just lay it out here. We're doing Engels, socialism, utopian, scientific. I've been working on the script. I'm almost done with it. After that, we have Baudrillard. We have the system of objects. Patrons and YouTube members decided that the system of objects with Baudrillard. Holy fuck, is that book dense, guys? Oh my, I'm struggling to get through it. I really don't like it. I don't like Baudrillard is not a good writer, guys. Baudrillard, I remember hearing people say that he's I can't remember the terminology, what you describe, a writer who purposely makes it hard to understand as to kind of conceal perhaps really unprescient points, but I find that with Baudrillard a lot. Like he writes like shit, and it's really fucking annoying. But his ideas are good. Like he takes a lot of early Baudrillard's very structuralist semiotics, right? He's very who's the person he studied under who was a very big semiotician. It's not Rorty. It starts with an R, I think. Yeah, dude. System of system of objects. I don't like it. I mean, like, I like the content of it. It's good, but fuck, reading it's terrible. It's horseshit. I hate it. I'm over halfway. I'm about 3/4. I'm a little shy of 3/4 of the way done through the book, but that's gonna be this after. And then after that, we're doing the German ideology. So I'll put up a vote, guys, after we get out. I think either this video or Baudrillard's. And we'll do a vote. I think I don't exactly know. I always leave it a vote, guys. So you guys get to choose the videos and the time scale in which I do them. but only if you give me your money, though. I'm sorry, man. It's a fucking oligarchy here. And it being an oligarchy, Epoch philosophy is an oligarchy, but we're a very fucking poor one, man. Holy shit. Like, yeah, Roland Barthes. That's right, Barthes. For sure. That is him. Not, it didn't start with an R, but it was, yeah, it did. Roland Barthes. Okay, yeah. What is the point of philosophy, anyways? Philosophy's good, man. I mean, what is the point of philosophy? I don't know. Add clarity to shit. Add context. Schopenhauer recognized progenity as a sin. Yeah, I haven't read a lot of Schopenhauer, but I want to. Sweden's finance minister. Kiweek, I actually do not know who that is. A lot of you guys ask me, like, what do you think about this very specific philosopher or something like that? Guys, I'm kind of a fucking idiot, all right? This is very much a process for me, too. I know how to make videos. I can make pretty decent videos. I know how to edit. I know a little bit. I know some philosophy. I know some theory, but holy fuck, some of you guys are way probably more galaxy brain than me. I'm kind of a fucking dumbass. But I'll read more of him to see. Yeah. Philip Mainlander. Yeah, I've wanted to do some stuff on Mainlander as well. Okay, let's see. Oh, we're up to 85 concurrent viewers. Hello, guys. Hi, everyone. Cool stuff. We've been growing in our stream numbers lately, guys. Quite immensely, actually, which is really cool. But, yeah. Mainlander was 20 times more metal than Schopenhauer. Mainlander was a pretty explicit socialist, too, wasn't he? What recently blew my mind while reading? Oh, fuck. Oh, okay. I think Zizek does a lot of the mind-blowing stuff, I think. I think Zizek's reverse, like, materialism, or Zizek's approach, the Hegelian approach to Marxism, where the best approach, I think this is something that really was very significant, the last thing that I read, that I was like, okay, I really like this idea, and I think I immediately took it very seriously, is that I think when he was talking about how our answer to capitalism's, all of capitalism's woes is typically we say, look, we need to work towards communism. That the Marxist, the traditional Marxist approach is that we need communism. And Zizek says, no, you fucking idiots, as always. He always does. No, that's not the fucking answer. Communism is a problem that must be dialectically overcome. It must be solved precisely because the 20th century has failed massively in implementing any sort of socialist or even communist sort of trajectory. He said, in this context, communism is not our holy salvation. It's not a salvation that we should adhere to or prescribe to capitalist issues. It is a problem we must dialectically overcome in the vein of capitalism. Not that like we should say capitalist, but like that the best way to be a Marxist is to dialectically overcome the problems of Marxism, to leave the ghost behind. The best way to be a communist, the best way to ensure communism might happen is to actually treat communism as a fucking problem. When you get into Hegelian reversals and Zizek's sort of like paradoxes, is when I really love, and I think it's an approach that we need to take more seriously. The idea that any of this shit that he says, like in that regard, a lot of people hear this, they're like, oh, this is like pseudo-intellectualism. No, the fuck it's not. Of all things in theory that is pseudo-intellectualism, it's not Zizek. It's not. Zizek is very real, in my opinion. I think we should take Zizek very fucking seriously. I think there is a lot of people that we can take a lot less seriously than Zizek. But yeah, that was the last thing that I really was like, whoa, that's a really good approach. I like that. That I am too dumb to think about. Zizek's writing in general, man. Guys, like, Zizek can say, like, some really, like, Zizek... this isn't, like, I know I probably go on about Zizek a lot. I really fucking like Zizek, like, a lot. Like, I really do. I think, I don't consider myself, some people are, oh, I'm a Hegelian. No. If I was to say, like, I'm I would say the closest thing to like a philosopher, the way I philosophize or whatever theorize is Zizekian. So, but I don't know. Best Zizek book. I think The Relevance of the Communist Manifesto is probably one of his best books. It's simple. It's very Hegelian. Obviously, the sublime object of ideology is what encompasses a lot of his work. We did a video on the sublime object of ideology. So I don't know if you've seen that or. Zizek is practically an analytic philosopher, very precise and clear. Yeah, well, so sometimes Zizek isn't clear. I think that's something too. Sometimes that I have to work to understand Zizek every once in a while, but when I do, it's very good. I think sometimes Zizek is precisely unclear. But again, in some Hegelian reversal, his unclarity, his very being unclear in some ways when you look at it clear, it makes sense. He can make more prescient points that way. And in a paradox, it is his clarity itself. A lot of people say Parallax View is his best book. I want to read that, and I would probably do a video on it if I did. So academic integrity. Dude, no. Okay, here's the fucking thing. Citing Wikipedia is not that bad. Academic integrity. Where did that come from? I haven't, Christopher Maynard, I have not heard you ever post anything in chat that is not raw, pure snark. Like, it is absolutely, are you doing okay, man? Are you doing all right? Listen, I want to make sure you're doing okay, because every single thing I hear you post in chat is like the most dismal, like snarky academic bullshit all the time. But anyways, academic integrity, dude cites Wikipedia all the time. I'm going to come to the defense of Wikipedia. Citing Wikipedia is not that bad, because within Wikipedia, there's a lot of the times, academic citations. Like, actual academic citations most of the time. Like, citing Wikipedia is not that bad at all. Like, at all. Whatsoever. Wikipedia is, further than that, it's a pretty useful tool. Ruthless criticism of all that exists. Yeah, I get it, but holy shit, man. You take that to a whole new level, my dude. All right. So, I was thinking. All right. Listen, I'm not the best streamer, guys. Hey, I can talk a little bit, yeah? I can do some talking. I can do some talking, but typically there is, streamers do a good job of incorporating other things into their streams. Me, I'm kind of an idiot. I just talk about shit. I talk about dumb shit. I just do shit. I just talk shit. That's all I do. Listen, there's a lot of good streamers we'll watch this video together. So, I don't know. Let me know if this is boring, guys. Please let me know, and I will fucking do something else. Okay? I promise you. Yeah. Yeah, Chomsky Foucault debate is a good watch. Ooh. Whoa. I haven't seen that. What a wonderful fucking idea. What a wonderful idea. Guys, I need your help. I'm an idiot. Like, I don't know how to stream. And I don't know how to stream exactly because I actually hardly watch streams, okay? I hardly watch streams. I'm terrible at it. Partially it's to do that streaming can often take a lot of concentration in ways, and I'm busy all the time. I work all the fucking time. So yeah, but yeah, let's see. Chomsky Foucault. How long? Oh, an hour and 10 minutes. All right. All right. Ooh, hell yeah.
Toen Galilei in de 17e eeuw ontdekte dat de aarde om de zon draaide.
Okay, speaking of me being a fucking idiot, I can't speak two languages. I'm a fucking dumb fuck American. Please, we gotta be nice to me, please.
Van de wetenschappelijke taal.
I'm an oppressed American. Speak English. It's like unironically every fucking American who sees some person from another country. Why don't you speak American?
Mr. Michel Foucault, of the Collège de France.
Oh, here. I'm sorry. My dumb... Listen, not only am I an idiot who does not understand another language, I'm such a fucking idiot that I don't even realize to turn on subtitles when I don't hear... when I can't understand another language.
Perhaps the best way to compare both philosophers is to look at them as
Sorry, guys.
methane diggers.
Yeah,
Working
sorry.
with the
I'm so...
opposite sides
You guys are saints for bearing with me.
with different tools, without knowing even if they are working in each other's direction. All learning
Foucault
is
looks like an evil
unrealistic.
fucking scientist, man. Or he looks like an arch villain. It's actually kind of cool. I agree. Foucault is badass
Are
looking.
faced with the question whether in the last instance
Chomsky was also a looker too, dude. He was that like nerdy. He was that like really nerdy, good-looking dude. Listen,
we have something we could
I don't
call
care.
a common
I
human
don't
nature.
care. I grew up in blue collar America where ever saying any of this shit is a terrible idea. Listen, you'd be labeled as gay. I don't give a fuck. Call me gay. I enjoy looking at good looking dudes, all right? I think I'm straight under every context, so the idea of ever fucking doing anything romantic or sexual with another dude is like very repulsive to me. But listen, man, like Henry Cahill, that dude is the best looking dude I've ever fucking seen. And Foucault, he's a good looking man. So is Chomsky. All right, I should shut the fuck up and we should actually do philosophy.
Slightly technical way, a person who's interested in studying language is faced with a very definite empirical problem. He's faced with an organism, a mature, let's say adult speaker, who has somehow acquired an amazing range of abilities which
It's not gay if you're having fun. I like it.
say what he means, to understand what people say to him.
No, some of the most gay fucking people are the very people who are homophobic, and they like play sports or whatever, and they smack all their teammates' ass. Like, I swear to God, those people are the most gay, dude. Gay people aren't gay compared to them.
The collection of abilities that we call knowing.
Is this still too quiet, guys?
Has been exposed to a certain experience. He has been
yes, absolutely
in the course of his lifetime with a certain amount of.
How's that sound, guys? I'm sorry.
Of direct experience with the language, and we can investigate the data that's available to this person. And having done so, in principle,
does it sound okay?
With a very
just let me know.
Clear and a reasonably clear and
okay.
well delineated scientific problem, namely the problem of accounting.
Sorry about
for
that, guys.
Gap between the really quite small.
Is it still a bit quiet?
Of data, small and rather degenerate quantity of data that's presented to the person, to the child, and the very highly articulated, highly systematic, profoundly organized, resulting knowledge
more
that somehow derives
all right.
from this data. Furthermore, even more remarkable, we notice that in a wide range of languages, in fact all that have been studied seriously, there are remarkable limitations on the kinds of system that emerge from the very different kinds of experience to which people are exposed. Well, there's only one possible explanation for, one can say in a rather schematic fashion, for this remarkable phenomenon, namely the assumption that the individual himself contributes a good deal, an overwhelming part, in fact, of the general schematic structure, and perhaps even.
I'm getting clipping here. I'm sorry, guys. I'll pause this. I'm getting clipping. So I have an analog mixer. I recently changed the setup on my mixer because my headphones requires a balance connection. I had to change stuff, and there's something going on. So I'm clipping. Guys, theoretically, you should be able to hear everything. Like, theoretically, like, I'm looking at my sound mixer. This is very loud. Like, it's very, very loud. And the fact that it's not appearing that way kind of disturbs me. Here.
Knowledge that he ultimately derives from this very scattered and limited experience. That is, to put it rather loosely, the child must begin.
So we're going to do a little bit of stuff here.
Certainly not with the knowledge that he's hearing English or Dutch or French or something else. But he does start with the knowledge that he's hearing a human language of a very narrow and explicit type that permits a very small range of variation. And it's because he begins with that highly organized and very restrictive schematism that he's able to make the huge leap from
hear what you're mixing. Yes. But what I do is I actually look at the level meters.
I would claim then that
sorry about this, guys.
Instinctive knowledge, if you like, this schematism that makes it possible to derive complex and intricate knowledge on the basis of very partial data, is one fundamental constituent of human nature. But then I assume that in other domains of human intelligence and other domains of human cognition and even behavior, something of the same sort must be true. Well, the collection of this mass of innate schematisms, innate
I'm going to do a little bit of...
which guides our social...
Because my speakers are distorting. It's distorting right now.
That's what I mean to refer to by the concept of human nature.
And that might be a mixer problem.
Well, Mr. Foucault, if I'm thinking at your books like Histoire de la folie et Les mots et les choses, I got the impression that you are working on a completely different level, and also...
So I have a headphone amplifier for my headphones running into an input in my mixer. I have two computers, audio running into my mixer, my input, and then I have an output to my stream. I have a very complex audio setup.
Well, if you permit, I will answer in French, because my English is so bad that I would be ashamed to...
So, like, I'm fucking with the volume here.
Answer in English. Là, il est vrai que je me méfie un peu de cette notion de nature humaine. Mais je m'en méfie pour la raison suivante. Je crois que parmi les concepts, parmi les notions dont une science peut se servir, il y a évidemment des notions qui sont d'un niveau, qui ont une élaboration, qui est une fonction différente. Par exemple, prenons le cas de la biologie.
Okay, here I'm not clipping anymore.
Dans le domaine de la biologie, vous avez des concepts qui sont plus ou moins bien établis.
That's still too quiet.
Le concept de réflexe. Bon. Et puis, vous avez d'autres notions qui sont en quelque sorte des notions périphériques. Des notions périphériques qui
Or is that still too quiet?
un rôle en quelque sorte organisateur à l'intérieur de la science, des concepts qui ne sont pas des instruments d'analyse, des concepts qui ne sont pas descriptifs non plus. Ce sont des notions en quelque sorte qui servent simplement à indiquer des problèmes ou encore qui servent à indiquer des domaines d'objets à étudier. Prenez par exemple, il y a une notion comme ça qui, je crois, était très importante dans l'histoire de la biologie. C'est tout simplement la notion de vie. Bon, au XVIIe ou au XVIIIe siècle, les gens qui étudiaient la nature ne se servaient pas du concept de vie. Ils classaient les êtres naturels, qu'ils soient vivants ou non vivants, dans une espèce
Is this a discussion on human nature?
hiérarchie. La vie était
Listen, I think I have a mixer. Guys, I think you are helping me diagnose a monumental mixer issue that I have. I think you guys are literally doing that right now. I think that the channel that I'm using, guys, let me switch over my PC to a different channel, I think. I think one of my channels, I think the channel that I have my PC on is fucked up. Okay.
Une notion dont il ne se servait pas et dont il n'avait pas besoin. Et puis, à la fin du XVIIIe siècle, un certain nombre de problèmes se sont posés. Comme par exemple le problème de l'organisation intérieure de ces êtres dont on avait fait la classification. Ou bien encore, avec les progrès du microscope, le microscope d'Amici, on a vu apparaître...
Dude, chill, the sound was fine. No. Listen. It's not fine on my end. You guys probably can't hear it. The channel is fucked up. That's what I'm trying to say. So here,
de phénomènes qui n'avaient pas été
I'm not obsessed with my toys, I promise you. I promise you that the audio is fucked up. It was only coming out of one ear, and who was it heard that as well?
Les progrès de la chimie ont fait également apparaître les problèmes concernant les rapports entre les réactions chimiques et les processus physiologiques de l'organisme. Et voilà que tout un domaine d'objets est apparu, domaine d'objets absolument nouveau pour le biologiste, et c'est cela qui a été appelé la vie. Et la vie, c'était une notion qui servait à indiquer le champ des objets et des domaines nouveaux que la science avait à parcourir. Bon, et je dirais, comme ça, en historien des sciences, si vous voulez, que la notion de vie a été un indicateur épistémologique, un index des problèmes à parcourir.
You're good enough to work at a convention center now? Hell yeah. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. Listen, there's one thing that must be known. I'm a fucking perfectionist when it comes to this shit.
Dus het begrip menselijke natuur van Chomsky met het begrip
I
leven
get very annoyed if I can't.
in de geschiedenis van dat vak.
Okay.
En hij doet dat omdat hij dat begrip menselijke natuur eerder ziet als een aanwijzing voor een onderzoeksprogramma dan als een aanwijzing voor het feit dat de mens uit zichzelf zo verschrikkelijk veel klaar zou kunnen spelen. Voor hem is dat begrip menselijke natuur eigenlijk een soort van wetenschappelijk boodschappenlijstje en niet meer dan
sharing his degree.
En Chomsky wil dit wel accepteren als maar duidelijk is dat vakken als biologie, fysiologie en neurologie voorlopig nog helemaal niet over de middelen beschikken om die menselijke natuur en dat taalvermogen adequaat te kunnen beschrijven. Vrij vroeg is het debat zo aangeland op een punt waar het gespreksleider elders de grootste moeite zal kosten om de partners met elkaar in contact te houden. Voor een deel ligt het natuurlijk aan de taal die ze spreken, maar voor een veel groter deel ligt dat aan het feit dat Chomsky en Foucault ieder in een verschillende denkwereld zitten, zodat hun begrippen heel gemakkelijk langs elkaar heen glijden. We krijgen eigenlijk het merkwaardige schouwspel te zien van twee breinen die gelijktijdig aan het denken zijn en om de beurt een begrip oppikken uit het betoog van de ander, om dit begrip dan vervolgens te belichten vanuit hun eigen denksysteem. Daarbij speelt dus voor Chomsky een grote rol dat begrip creativiteit, waarover nu een heel groot stuk van het debat zal gaan. Voor Chomsky is creativiteit eigenlijk een kenmerk van alle mensen. Iedereen werkt ermee. De verkeersdeelnemer, die ter plaatse
Kinda looks like me with longer hair.
moet gaan bedenken wat hij zal doen. De opvoeder, die niet terug wil vallen op autoritaire gedragspatronen.
Yeah, so is Foucault taking the sort of, you know, I suppose the quote-unquote postmodern approach that nature isn't, because this is I'm a little bit lost here.
Zelf nieuw gedrag moet
partially because I haven't been fucking able to pay attention.
Deze creativiteit voor het kind dat een taal leert en dat daarbij merkwaardigerwijze leert om zelf nieuwe taal te produceren, te maken. Foucault staat daar tegenover. Hij vraagt voortdurend
This is
aandacht
Dutch, isn't it?
voor het zogenoemde epistemologische veld waarbinnen de menselijke activiteit plaatsvindt. Dit epistemologische veld, oftewel episteme, wordt in het profiel omschreven als het geheel van niet bewuste regels die de algehele organisatie van onderling gescheiden velden van kennis beheersen.
Epistemology is like an unconscious field.
Foucault spreekt ook over tableau. Hij noemt het ook systeem van elementen.
Okay, yeah. Dutch is an interesting language.
Grille, tralie of rooster. We kunnen misschien het best spreken van een netwerk waarbinnen iedereen in een bepaalde cultuur denkt of hij wil of niet. Het zijn eigenlijk regels waaraan het denken van iedereen gehoorzaamt en met behulp waarvan iedereen zoekt naar bepaalde identiteiten, samenhangen.
This is dense shit. This is dense as fuck. Okay.
En dit netwerk nu is niet de uitvinding van bepaalde individuen.
No, not really. I know an okay amount of Spanish, but that's about it. I can understand Spanish, a little bit of Spanish when I hear it, but that's about it. I can't hardly speak it. I had to take 3 Spanish classes in college.
Een dergelijk netwerk is
but I still can't speak it.
idee, maar het ligt precies tussen ding en idee in. En de geschiedenis van het denken is dan voor Foucault ook niet de geschiedenis van ideeën.
The history of thought is
zelfs zoiets als de ontwikkeling van de geest of iets dergelijks.
But rather, it should be understood as discontinuous transformations. The fuck, man! I should have been paying attention from the start, and I should have had my audio shit under control. My audio, I think my channel's fucked up, which is really stupid because my mixer's expensive, and that means the channel's not working correctly. So fuck Yamaha for that.
Dan die van Chomsky, bij wie die creativiteit in het centrum staat. En het is duidelijk dat we op dit punt bij Foucault weer diezelfde onttroning van het subject tegenkomen, waarover we in verband met Galilei in het begin...
Foucault's dethroning. I think somebody said this debate was Lex Luthor versus Clark Kent, Superman, and I legit...
...reeds gesproken hebben. De filosofie van Foucault is een filosofie waarbij de filosoof zelf eigenlijk voortdurend uit het beeld verdwijnt. Ja, paradoxaal genoeg zou je moeten...
Okay, so that's what I've noticed. This seems really ambiguous and really not specific right now.
Want de mens is bij Foucault in zekere
very
zin
abstract.
De grote afwezige in zijn eigen cultuur. En het is in dit verband dan ook heel begrijpelijk dat Foucault nogal fel en afwijzend reageert wanneer de gespreksleider belangstelling begint te vertonen voor privéaspecten van zijn bestaan. Wanneer Foucault debatteert, dan gaat het over alles.
Listen, before we start, I am super fucking offended. I am so offended there is no blood sports going on. Listen, I am a student of YouTube. I'm offended that they're not calling each other fucking idiots, and I'm offended that they're actually talking about things in philosophy. They're actually debating, and it's not about stupid fucking dumb fuck postmodern politics. All right, whatever.
Behalve over Foucault zelf. Dit dus ter introductie op dit volgende, vrij uitvoerige theoretische stuk van het debat, dat eigenlijk maar voortdurend allerlei aspecten van
I want to see some fucking blood. No, I'm just kidding. I think
in hoeverre is de
debates on YouTube today are done by absolute fucking idiots. And it's insane.
Het lijkt mij
like how absolutely dumb it is. Like truly, guys, can we appreciate how insanely stupid? Like, yeah, we don't have these kind of debates anymore. No, there isn't. There isn't. Because within this debate, there's also a sort of discourse and discussion, right? And it's funny, there's kind of this typical, like, you know, a lot of people would have this really cringy, we need to go back to the good old days shit, you know, everything was perfect then and whatever. No, but really, like, the idea of an intellectual pursuit today, guys, is so fucking dismal. Like, it's like YouTube. It's YouTube shit. It's like, it's just like practical fucking politics and half the time in really dumb fuck veins. Like, really dumb ways. Like what we think, like, I mean, granted, it's gotten better. It's gotten better, right? So peak bullshit intellectualism, guys, was like 2014 through 2017 YouTube. Where, like, do you guys remember, like, peak intellectualism on YouTube was like atheist debates? Like, imagine the most stupid fucking waste of times it is to argue whether God exists or not. Like, seriously, like, I truly, do you guys think that is like the biggest waste of fucking time? But that was like the peak intellectualism of the day. Like, imagine someone like Sam Harris getting fucking famous because of that. What the fuck, man? What is that? You know what I mean? Like, good God. I mean, even Zizek and the Peterson debate was far better than anything like that. Far better. It was actually relatively good, except for people just clapping in the crowd. But really, like, this is like depressing, man. Like, this is depressing that, like, and half the time, isn't it right? Like, half the time, these people who do debates, like it's just normalizing the most stupid alt-right positions, like neo-Nazi positions. That's like really what it is. Like, I think on YouTube, and it's like considered like some weird intellectual endeavor where it's like, it's the most brain dead thing ever. Yeah, atheism debates is the most cringy fucking thing I can think of.
Kennis en wetenschap nodig zullen hebben, willen we het er in onze wereld met elkaar levend afbrengen.
Okay, this guy's trying.
Weer op waar Foucault toelicht.
Okay, should we get to the actual debate? I think
veut qu'on accorde le maximum à la créativité des individus. L'histoire des sciences jusqu'à ces dernières années
consisted of showing how an individual, whether it was
a montré en quoi un individu, que ce soit Newton ou que ce soit Mendel, peu importe, avait été effectivement le créateur ou le découvreur plutôt d'une...
Yeah, guys, intellectual endeavor is arguing with a Christian whether God exists. What the fuck? Like, if you think beating a Christian at a debate about, like, the existence of God or the merits of a complete weird religion, my God, what a low bar. What a fucking... the lowest bar I've ever fucking seen ever. But yeah, I mean, you know,
vérité qui était là, inscrite dans les choses et dans le
And in the
monde,
words of Zizek, my
que
God,
personne
my
avant
God.
eux n'aurait vu. Le postulat qu'il y a, je crois, qui dort en quelque sorte sous l'histoire des sciences traditionnelles, c'est ceci. C'est que la vérité est là pour être connue et que, pourtant, l'esprit de l'homme, par la suite, par l'effet d'un certain nombre d'inhibitions ou d'obstacles, n'est pas parvenu
Here we get into
à voir cette
Jordan
vérité.
Peterson wouldn't like this, guys.
L'esprit de l'homme est fait pour voir la vérité et un obstacle contingent l'en empêche. Cet obstacle, ça peut être, eh bien, selon les historiens, les conditions économiques et sociales, ou ça peut être la forme des mentalités, ou ça peut être la crédulité, les vieux thèmes et mythes religieux, par exemple, ou moraux, enfin tout ceci qui constitue comme les obstacles, les écailles sur les yeux de celui qui voudrait voir. Mais en droit, l'esprit est fait pour voir. En droit, l'esprit est fait pour avoir accès à la vérité.
Cool. I'm wondering where Chomsky's going to go with this. If he disagrees with this.
Si vous voulez, on donne toute la créativité à l'individu qui est en droit possesseur de la vérité.
Truth exists in order to be known. Yeah, that's. I keep hearing Foucault saying dubstep. I don't think Chomsky likes to be called a Kantian.
Et puis on la lui retire par le système des obstacles qui viennent d'une façon.
Yeah, new atheist thinkers, they think that their arguments are groundbreaking and they're making like progress on the side of like anti-superstition. Yeah, these are the very like very, very old arguments of modernity and stuff like that. It's just mind-blowingly stupid. I think it just shows, hey, like what more, I think that, again, you know, I started really learning about more philosophy and theory precisely because I thought political science had some insanely really weird surface level issues, or not, sorry, very deep issues, and tried to only approach them from a surface level position. And theory and philosophy does a lot more to correct and analyze and add context to things than anything like that could. And I think this is like exactly where I think shit like this actually is kind of important, you know? I know making positive statements like that can be a little, you know, but I really think that that's actually like what's fairly good about this, so.
L'empêcher de saisir, de formuler, de construire cette vérité à laquelle il a droit en principe. Bon, alors moi, le problème qui s'est posé à moi, c'était précisément un peu l'inverse. Parce que qu'est-ce qui se passe quand on assiste à une grande transformation scientifique? Dans une transformation scientifique, comme par exemple la naissance de la biologie au milieu du XVIIe siècle, ou la naissance de la philologie à la fin du XVIIIe, au début du XIXe. C'est vrai qu'un certain nombre d'obstacles, un certain nombre de préjugés, un certain nombre d'idées toutes faites tombent et viennent à disparaître. Mais ce qui m'a frappé, c'est qu'une science, au moment où elle naît, non seulement se débarrasse d'un certain nombre d'obstacles et d'obscurités, mais en même temps, elle supprime un certain nombre de savoirs et de connaissances existantes qu'elle occulte, qu'elle cache, comme si elle appliquait une grille nouvelle qui, tout en permettant de faire apparaître des phénomènes jusque-là cachés, cache des connaissances déjà acquises. Donc, une science...
Oh yeah, Chomsky can speak French, yeah?
C'est pas simplement l'oubli des vieux préjugés, ce sont pas simplement les obstacles qui tombent, c'est une véritable nouvelle grille qui cache un certain nombre de choses et du coup fait apparaître. Donc, quand je critique la notion de créativité, je veux dire par là que, en fait, la vérité ne s'acquiert pas comme une sorte de création continue et cumulée, mais comme un jeu de grilles qui s'applique
set of grids stacked on one.
I think in part
that's interesting. I think it's sort of like the
slightly talking in cross purposes because of a different use of the term creativity. In fact, I should say that my use of the term creativity is a little bit idiosyncratic, and therefore the onus falls on me, not on you in this case. But when I speak of creativity, I'm not attributing to the concept the notion of value that is normal when we speak of creativity. That is, when you speak of scientific creativity, you're speaking properly of the achievements of a Newton. But in the context in which I've been speaking about creativity, it's a normal human event. I'm speaking of the kind of creativity that any child demonstrates when he is able to come to grips with a new situation, describe it properly, react to it properly, tell us something about it, think about it in a new fashion for him, and so on. This
is a very abstract debate, guys.
Creative acts, but of course without thinking of those acts as being the acts of a Newton.
What the fuck is this?
Lower levels of creativity that I've been speaking of. Now, as far as what you say about the history of science is concerned, I think that's
okay. So,
and particularly
the trajectory, like,
the kinds of enterprise that I see lying before us in psychology and
that's what kind of technocrat. That's kind of what confuses me a little bit too. Is that I couldn't imagine a lot like more different sort of. I mean, philosophy and linguistics is certainly not different, right? I mean, there's been philosophy over the use of language forever, but I think this is just an interesting thing. Yeah, this is like lingual metaphysics, I suppose. Yeah. Class politics later. Interesting.
Topics that have been, what was your word, depressed or put aside during the scientific advances of the, say, past 2 centuries, century and a half. But now I think we can overcome those.
Can see why this died out in favor of verbal blood sports. Absolutely, me too. Doesn't make verbal blood sports any less fucking stupid, though. But yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. WWE, man. Pro wrestling of fucking, yeah, verbal pursuits. Intellectual and verbal pursuits.
Give fuller role, though certainly not will not hope to give complete understanding to such notions as innovation and creativity and freedom and production of new new elements of thought and behavior within some system of rule and schematism. Those are concepts that I think we can come to grips with.
Je crois qu'entre ce qu'a dit M. Chomsky à l'instant et puis ce que j'essaie de montrer, il y a en réalité beaucoup de ressemblances. C'est-à-dire qu'il n'y a en fait de création possible, d'innovation possible. On ne peut, dans l'ordre du langage ou dans l'ordre du savoir, produire quelque chose de nouveau qu'en mettant en jeu un certain nombre de règles qui vont définir l'acceptabilité ou la grammaticalité des énoncés, ou qui va définir, dans le cas du savoir, la scientificité des énoncés. Alors, disons en gros.
Yeah, I think Foucault was pretty anti-communist in a lot of ways. I think, or at least the existing realm in which socialism existed, for sure. And like I truly think like. Really, like it's kind of hard in many ways. It's kind of hard not to be at least very skeptical in which, even according to theory, which Foucault, I'm sure, read all kinds of Marxist theory. Granted, he was a lot more abstract in his approach, and he didn't. Granted, I think a lot of narratives of Marxism is definitely not, but anti-statist, yeah.
Qui ont surtout insisté sur les règles de construction des énoncés et moins sur l'innovation que représente tout énoncé nouveau ou l'audition d'un énoncé nouveau. Et puis, dans l'histoire des sciences ou dans l'histoire de la pensée, on avait beaucoup plus l'habitude d'insister sur la création individuelle et on avait tenu à l'écart, on avait laissé dans l'ombre ces espèces de règles communes, générales, qui sont en œuvre obscurément à travers toute découverte scientifique, toute invention scientifique, ou même d'ailleurs toute innovation philosophique. Des règles non seulement linguistiques, mais épistémologiques, et qui caractérisent le savoir contemporain.
Well, I think perhaps I can try to react to those comments within my own framework in a way which maybe will shed some light on this. How is it that we're able to construct any kind of scientific theory at all? How is it that given a small amount of data, it's possible for various scientists, for various geniuses even over a long period of time, to arrive at some kind of a theory, at least in some cases, that is more or less profound and more or less empirically adequate? This is a remarkable fact. And in fact, if it were not the case that these scientists, including the geniuses, if they didn't have built into their minds somehow, obviously unconscious, specification of what is a possible scientific theory, then this inductive leap would certainly be quite impossible. Just as if each child...
Foucault supported the Iranian Revolution. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Human language in a very natural way, in a very narrowing way, then the inductive leap from data to knowledge of a language would be impossible. So even though the process of, let's say, deriving knowledge of physics from data is far more complex, far more difficult for us.
I gotta say, I think this is a very hard, guys, I gotta say, I think this is gonna be a very hard thing for me to follow while streaming as well and trying to like interact and read chat. It's a little difficult. I think we can probably do it. Right, so we got maybe 1/3 of the way through, but it's definitely a little bit difficult. I don't know if I can quite do this. This is some abstract shit. That I kind of, I mean, I almost in a way I kind of want to watch it myself, and then yeah. And a lot of French Marxists and academics support the Iranian Revolution. I think maybe. Deleuze criticized Western philosophy's tendency to equalize an emphasis on difference as far as, yeah. When is the class politics? Yeah, also, too, it's like, this is a very, this is like, guys, the setup for this debate's fucking terrible. Like, this is bad. Like, you have two people who speak completely different languages. Yeah, like, yeah, and then you have someone else speaking Dutch. Like, this is fucking bad, man. Holy shit. Obviously, I'm sure the content of the debate's great. You'd always have a night screening after watching it. Yeah, we could probably do that. I think that's probably the best approach because I'm not able to completely articulate, or at least, like, you know, if we're going to watch it on stream, I'm sure you guys are wondering exactly what I'm thinking, stuff like that. But it's kind of hard to be able to grasp everything while trying to interact, trying to read chat, doing all these things. It's very difficult to do a lot of. It's funny because you would expect streaming. It would be good to do this, but until you're in like the streaming spot, it's very difficult to focus on a lot of strenuous things, I suppose, or at least not necessarily strenuous, but something that really does require your attention a lot. At least you have the Stanford. Is that really me? Does that really look like me? Yeah, ADHD be like that. Yeah. Well, it's funny. What that is kind of ADHD. Although I'm not ADHD. But I can imagine that's what it's like, where you have a stream going on, then you're doing this, and then you're thinking, and you're trying to process all these things. I can imagine that's probably what it's like. Throwing it out there to watch in general, but it was fun watching it on here for so long. Is there that would also be good if there was a transcript as well. I know did Ben Burgess do something? Ben Burgess. Oh shit. No. Did he? Oh, and then Matt McManus is on here.
IT Harvard type dude. But then there was political, where I'm effectively a kind of philosophical scientist or linguist.
How the fuck do they do that? Well, they probably are not. They're not looking at chat. You guys ruin it, guys. It's all your fault. No, but for real, it would be very. I'm surprised they're probably able to do this while Matter of fact, you know what would probably be easiest, guys? It would probably be easiest to watch this debate through people also not doing the streaming or something like that. You know, it actually might be easier to do that.
Or whatever it happens to be.
Can imagine Matt
the other where I'm a
McManus
political commentator. But in some
like
other interviews, he suggests
that.
that there is a relation between the two, in the sense that he's committed to an enlightenment project, fundamentally, right? Mature enlightenment project, where reason and human creativity.
This is some fucking hyper reality shit going on. It kind of is. is
can be used adaptively
this is a
to
sign
solve
on top of a
fundamental
sign.
political problems, and that societies as they are right now are insufficiently free to allow us to use our complicated cognitive hardware to actually resolve a lot of the difficulties that we face in a constructive
Leave it to fucking Matt McManus to make sense of this shit, cause
manner, which is why we need to see.
No, really though, guys, like Matt McManus is probably one of this dude is so good at explaining shit. Like Matt McManus is like fucking what's that movie? Good Will Hunting, except for like philosophy and shit like that and explaining it. I don't know. It's funny to me.
Some very profound changes. And I kind of like it like that in the sense that he's very overtly aligning himself with historical project, where I think that I think actually has a lot of gas left in the tank, and he's not afraid to make that kind of association without kind of falling into the kind of cheesy enlightenism that you see with people like Steven Pinker and so on.
Yeah, Matt McManus, dumb fuck lib, idiot lib, who talks about the relations with Marx and liberalism. What a fucking idiot!
I like that he's showing. I just like that he's showing some leg. I knew that. I mean, he's got to compete with the Frenchman here, and so he's getting a little risque for Chomsky, frankly. No, really. Once we start getting into, I'll have more substantive things to say, but he went straight for that orange juice though as well. I mean, yeah. And yeah, I'd love to know if that is just orange juice or not, but who knows? All right.
It might be in his case. I'd be shocked if it was just orange juice in Foucault's case.
Yeah, that seems right. All right, let's check it out.
Working on a completely different level and also just with an opposite aim, opposite goal. If I'm thinking about the word schematism in relation to human nature, then you are just trying to work out that there are several.
Ooh, yeah, this is a hard thing to do, guys. This is a hard thing to do. At least for me, it's very difficult. And, you know, honestly, maybe I'm just fucking peanut brain, but like this is difficult to do, to stream a fucking stream on top of a stream in a debate. Who the fuck is knocking on my door? Okay. Are you familiar with the work of Akil Mbe or?
Because my English is so bad.
I am not.
I would be ashamed to answer in English.
What is that? Oh, yeah. All right. Okay. So, could yeah, I don't know, guys. I think I might have to save that. I might have to do a little bit. If I feel like that would have to be a very structured stream per se, right? Like I think that might have to be a stream where I really have to do a little bit before I stream the debate, and then I might have to do some work. But I don't know. It would be that would be a lot of work, and I don't know. I you know, like I'm already so fucking stretched for time that, you know, making videos and doing this shit, I'm just constantly working. I'm actually like, I definitely get some mental burnout pretty fucking quick. That happens to me quite fucking easy. Well, not easy, but it happens a lot, man. Making videos and doing the fucking editing, the scripting and shit, reading shit. Fuck, man. It fucking sucks. I think it's just, I don't think I've ever even talked about this on stream, but like this just like hyper productivity sort of thing. Like that's exactly what I'm doing with this, you know? Like, I don't know. We should absolutely do movie nights if possible with copyright. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be I would be completely down to do that. I would love to do that. I don't think I'd be able to in some ways. But yeah, I don't know, man. Sometimes it's very hard when you get into the like streaming shit. Oh my. Like truly, yeah, Vic, like you get to the point where it's like, God, you have to pick and choose so much about what you focus on and concentrate. And how fucking catastrophic is that, man? We live in such a hyper commoditized world that you have to radically like pick what you even, you know, you do all the time based on a productive model about what is the most productive, what's not. stuff like that. But yeah, I also haven't more on language. Can you watch movies on here? What? No, I'm pretty sure I would be fucking. Can I do that? There's like channels that watch movies though. There's channels that watch movies and they comment on it. I would like to do a stream where I stream a fucking movie. That would be cool. Oh fuck. You know what would be sick, guys? And put on Zizek and we'll be happy. You know what would be sick is if we can do this sometime. I haven't seen Zizek's documentaries. I haven't seen any of them. We should do that. We'll do that. We'll watch Zizek's thing. I don't know. I might get copyright striked. I don't know if my YouTube channel gets shut down. If it does, I'm absolutely fucked. Because it's my only source of income. So I need to check on that. You can do it on Discord with a lot of people. A few 100 years go by. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. Let's watch. We'll I can't do it today. But let's do it. Let's watch. The Pervert's Guide to Ideology. We'll do something like that. They got licenses to stream movies. Is that what they do? Yeah, is that what they fucking do? Can I stream a movie on? Can I? What? Check out the legality for all this. Okay. Oh, streaming a movie would be considered a public performance under U.S. Copyright Act for your viewers in which they've effectively. Oh wait, never mind. In which they they've committed a misdemeanor.
I'm not saying that's how it should be. I'm saying that's how it is. People right.
Okay. Yeah, guys, this might fucking end my entire channel, guys, if I do that. It really might. Yeah, I would love to do fucking Pervert's Guide to Ideology on stream. Well, I mean, I could do that, but like honestly, I have to that would be fun, but you know, this is work for me, you know. If it's monetized and that's bad. Yeah, I mean, this is work for me. I only have so much time to be able to, you know, watch Pervert Guides to Ideology on Discord or something. I would like to do that. I could probably do that at some point. Being a fucking student though and doing this and oh man, I don't know how I'd ever be able to find the time about that or with that. How about we watch a video about Zizek jokes? So we can do that probably next time. For sure. Yeah, let's do that. But so long as it's not monetized, then you should be fine. Gotcha. Well, so I notice also that a lot of people will like sell reviews or they'll sell on Patreon them talking about movies in its whole totality. Interesting. Okay, so I'll do more research into that, guys. I will 100% look more into that, and we will see whether I can do that. And if I can do that, guys, it's a wonderful idea. Because I like to stream. It's fun. It's a good way to grow my channel in some ways as well. I like it as well. It's fun. Anyways, I can do that, and that would be a wonderful idea to do a lot of different things in one little medium. So we'll do that. Keyweek, I actually can't. I always do this way longer than I thought. So I'm about to hit the 2-hour mark. I was looking to do about 2 hours today because I am scripting. I'm scripting on this. I'm almost done. I need to get that done. I need to get the recordings done for this video, and I need to get it out. I like to do 2 videos a month. God knows I can't afford any less than 2 videos a month. Fucking Jesus fucking Christ, it's expensive to even fucking survive. So I have to try to get this video out pretty soon, and try to get onto it. You know, so I can't. I'm sorry. I'm really I'm strapped for time today. I really am. Fucking most days, fucking hate my life. And I like my life. It's okay. It's just Listen, man, the post-Fordist model of capitalism, I feel it. I feel it in my bones. It's chaotic, man. Pure chaos. So yeah, I will get up. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, so I'm actually probably going to end the stream right now. I'm sorry, Kiweek. I would love to. I would definitely do that. I didn't realize we're about to hit the 2-hour mark really soon. I gotta get going. But I will do that. I'll try to plan something kind of interesting and your income. Yes, that's all it is now. So so what happened was I did have a research job that was really good. Good news. Good news, I make a little bit more than I did as a research student at my university. So I did research at my university, but it was incredibly easy. Preferably, what I would have liked to do is kept my research job and still done this and be a student. I'd be very busy, a little bit more busy than I am now, but that job it was a lot of minimal effort for decent pay. And what sucks is because of COVID and everything, I got fucked over completely on that. So I lost my research job. We should stop calling it techno feudalism. That's exactly what it is. So yeah, so I had a research job. I lost that, and I already was doing YouTube while I had that, and I just hit the point of like monetization right as I lost it, and I thought for a second, I'm like, okay, what would the smartest thing to do here, right? Because this research job working through a university allowed me the flexibility to do that. I could have never gotten that flexibility anywhere else on a part-time job at all. It wouldn't have worked. It would have been impossible as a student on top of it. And so that's scary. So I'm not going to lie. I thought about completely ending my channel. I was like, all right. For a second, I was like, oh, I'm fucking boned. I'm like, if I don't have the time, I have to get another job that requires much more work. Because part-time jobs, it's like a lot of the times what it is, I'm sure you guys have had this experience. They give you a set number of hours, say 15 hours a week. They double it. They double it within a couple months of working there, and they require more and more out of you. That happens in every part-time job I've always been in. So I thought about ending. I actually genuinely, I was like, I'm probably might not be able to make YouTube videos. I'm probably boned. And so I almost stopped. But then I thought, I was like, all right, hold up. All right, I just hit monetization. I might just go balls to the wall, try to make the best videos that I can, live poor if I can, and try to do as much content as I possibly can. That quality content, I will not sacrifice quality for quantity. I've had some discussions with some family members and stuff like that, and they know like that I do YouTube and stuff, and they're like, well, you could probably make more videos a month and sacrifice, the amount of time it takes to edit. No! Fuck no. We're not a YouTube channel. We're not Thoughts on Thinking, all right? We're not the School of Life. School of Life makes very high quality edited videos, but the content of their videos kind of sucks. But yeah, so 33 hours a week, no benefits, no overtime. Yeah, it's an evil system. That's how it is. So I think I was like, all right, I'm just going to double down, really work as hard as I fucking can on this channel. And I work constantly. It's all I do, but it's okay. I don't say that for like sympathy or anything like that. It's something that I enjoy. But yeah, so this is my only source of income. So this is what I do. I stream, make videos, I learn and read shit, and then I'm a student as well because I gotta get my degree. I can't there's no choice in not doing that. And hopefully by the time this spring I do it, I can hopefully be at a point where I could maybe do this full time, and I could really hammer content away. If I do this full time, there's so much more that I could do with this, and I don't have fucking school lingering over my head. I don't have this stuff. I could do so much more, and I'm excited to potentially be able to do that. But it's gonna be really interesting come the end of spring because I graduate. And I either do this full time or I'm going to have to really think about shit. Because if I had a full-time job doing this, oh, fuck, guys. You want to talk about something that, ends this channel, I wouldn't be able to do. So, I thought about it. I'm like, all right, I'll get into full-time work. I'll get a job. No, I couldn't do that. Because this is already a full-time job. It sucks. This is a full-time... Content, guys, I think it's you'll hear from YouTubers and stuff like that. Like, I worked 60-hour weeks. Guys, when people say that, I think they're being for real. I think they're really I think Philosophy Tube was talking about it where that is very real stuff. Yeah. So I think that's very real stuff. So I'm like thinking like, God, the only way I could, because I love this. This is my baby. I love doing this. This is like, all guys, I think about it 24/7. I love this. The idea that I would ever jeopardize this channel or anything would suck. That would suck. So that would kill me. So I'm doing everything that I can to make sure that we, get there. But, I love Philosophy Tube. Philosophy Tube's awesome. But yeah, so, and Chad's make it like story and history, then you will get hits. Maybe. I don't want to sacrifice quality, though. I don't want to sacrifice any of those things. I get it, but yeah. So, all right. So I think I'm going to have to get going, guys. But if you guys do want to help out support, feel free to join. I give the spiel every time. So I'm sorry if I annoy everyone at the end of every stream saying this. But if you guys do want to support the channel, make sure that the channel survives. Patreon down below. Also... you can join via YouTube members. Either one works, whichever one you want to do. It's all preference. Patreon helps me more. They definitely YouTube likes their cut of pay. But yeah. So I appreciate all you guys being here, though. Seriously, it's a ton of fun. I love doing this. But yeah, I always get the spiel. Also, something else that you can do: bookmark our Amazon link down below. It is in the description. Bookmark it. If you use it to buy shit on Amazon, Jeff Bezos got to pay me. Fuck that guy. Yeah. Get that bread, Epoch. Yeah, hopefully. It just sucks. It sucks. It's a necessity. I talk about it a little bit more than most people. Most people, it's I don't know. I'm a bit of an open book though too. There's a lot of people who are very, very private. They'll never talk about anything like that. I understand that. I don't know. I have a tendency to be a very open book though. Always be absorbed by the plastic pills conglomerate by that time. So, all right, guys, I appreciate all you guys being in here. It's always a ton of fun. We'll do something with Zizek and like try to watch maybe a documentary on here if it doesn't completely destroy my channel, which it very much might, because copyright right now is getting bad. I don't know. Speaking of weird technocracy. All right, guys, I gotta shut the fuck up. I talk way too much. All right, love you all.